technical journals that maybe you just don't feel like actually looking through. So this just takes any PDF you have and converts it into an audiobook and an MP3 file so you can do what you want with it. So the tools being used are pyPDF2 and pyATL. They're both open source. pyPDF2 is being used to open the PDF and then take that text, extract it, to then feed it to pyATL to then convert it into an audio file. What I like about pyATL particularly is that we'll get into it, but it gives you a lot of control over the voices and the way it sounds and the way it works. So that's really nice. pyPDF2 is a very powerful software. They're library that does a lot of other really cool things with manipulating PDFs. I'm just using it to read it and extract the text in this example.
I have a question.
Yes.
The pyATL, how does it deal with underscores?
Yes. So I don't know. I did test it for symbols like $ signs and hyphens, and it handles those just fine. Even copyright marks it uses just fine. I don't know. I didn't look at underscores.
Because one of the issues I have when turning any document into an audio file is blanks. If you're doing like, the cheese is blank.
Yeah.
It will say the cheese is underscore.
That's I don't know, but now I want to know.
Now we learn.
Exactly. I'm also don't have to really go into the installation. It's all very simple. It's just a pip installation for both of them. These aren't APIs. There's no authentication or anything like that. I use it on Python 3.12, and it works just fine. So compatibility is good there. pyPDF2. So when it comes to extracting the text, they say in their documentation, and I tested this out in multiple examples. Oh, not you. They said that pure PDFs work best, ones that were digitally created from the beginning. They don't run into any issues when it comes to extracting text. If you're doing a scan document, it usually works pretty well, and I have an example of that. But if you're using a scan document with OCR, that can create a second layer of text that can be very difficult for it to extract. So if you go about using this, they recommend not using a scan document with OCR. What's really cool too about pyPDF in this example or along in this program is that it can limit headers and footers. So when it extracts the text, it can take out the footers. So if you're extracting a research paper or anything that has just a ton of footers that are important, but you don't want to hear in the audiobook, you can have those limited and taken out. So that's another really useful part of pyPDF2. pyATL. There are other libraries and APIs that work for turning text into audio. I tested Google text-to-speech, their AI program. It works really well, but it only can do, unless you pay for it, 30 minutes of text a month, a month. So it's very limiting in what you can do from that point of view. pyATL, I wish it had a better name, because it sucks to say, but it works offline, which is fantastic. You have control over the voices. The voices are based off of what you've installed on your computer. So if you don't have anything installed, I'm using Windows, which I'm told is horrendous, but that's what I'm currently still using. It only had the 2 default voices that Windows includes with reading text-to-speech on screen. But I was able to download others, add them to the registry, and then you can pull those as well. And I'll show you how you can pull those in the text. Another thing that's really great about this program is it can control the rate of speech. So if you're a podcast listener and you always listen at 2 times or 1.2 times, you can do the same for this audiobook as well, have it set up that way. There's no size limitations. The 2 examples I'm going to show you, one is just a 2-page PDF and the other one is a 273-page book. And there's no limit on how that works, and it also takes very little time. Cons, from the voices I found, they still sounds kind of like a robot. The British ones seem to be better.
How much time does it take to transcribe like a minute of audio?
I don't know. I do know that the 273-page book turns into about 12 hours of audio, and it took about 2 minutes.
Okay, so not bad.
It's fast. Yeah, it's fast. Yeah.
Does this use machine learning of any type, or is it just?
My understanding is no. This library does not. Correct. Yes.
The library for like interfacing with the PDF, what is it?
pyPDF 2.
So when you're using that, say there's a book that has like 400,000 words or something, or even more than that, are you just loading all of that into memory all at once, or are you using generators?
So I just have it loading straight into memory.
Gotcha.
There's probably more efficient ways.
You can integrate page. First of all, there's pyPDF 1, pyPDF 2, pyPDF 3. 2 is the one you want to use. Or use pyMu.
Use a context manager?
You don't need to because it's built in.
Ah.
So you can iterate page by page. So you're gonna have like a regular forward, extract page by page.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So because I've done that. I use that library.
Excellent.
But pyMu PDF. Wait.
Oh, there you go. I could already improve this then. Thank you.
Could this run on a server?
I'm sure it could. I don't see what would.
I was thinking like throw this on like a little Windows VPS, turn it
Yeah.
into a Flash web app. There you go.
I think you can very simply do that. Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to show you the code. We're not going to go line by line, but there are some interesting parts of it that are worth pointing out. And I know there's a way to fix it.
Oh, I see it. It's right there. Yeah.
Let's see if I can make it bigger. You're not going to be able to read that.
Enhance.
Can you do like the 2 fingers on the touchpad? I don't know. Is that, oh, it's a Mac. Or is it Dell?
No, this
Still want
yeah.
that?
Let's see.
Control plus?
Yeah, Control plus.
Is that VS Code?
So this is PyCharm. That's what I learned on. That's what I've been using.
Oh, you're using PyCharm? Oh my god.
What?
I actually have used PyCharm before. It's really good.
Oh, yes, thank you.
But I've been a happy user since. So.
Why are you using Vim?
I use text
I don't even know what Vim is.
It's what my grandmother used in the 80s. It's sorry, 70s, and it's still better than that.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Let's see if that makes it any better. All right, well, it's a little bit better. So the main things I want to show you on here, anyways, are the voice test. So in the very middle here, there's this one function. This will just pull all the voices that you have. They actually, at least for Windows, I don't know how it works for Mac and Linux, though pyTTSX does have documentation on both of those. I just have to use them. It will pull the voices from your registry. I have it say a simple phrase, and then it gives you the ID. So that way you can listen to them, see which one you like the best, and then put that ID into the program to then make your audiobook in this instance. So you do that here at the bottom of the set property. You just set it to voices and you set the name. I have this, and when we get to the resources at the end, I do have this on GitHub if you want it. I just have the voices ID there for me so that I know which one is which when we look at it. So the other really nice thing is that I have it so that it names itself based off of the PDF name. So it just gets rid of the .pdf and puts in the name. So I want to show you how quickly this works. So this one is just a stock industry. In my previous life, I was a wealth manager. So I have this stock industry PDF. All right, so just, I think it's
Which voice is it using? The male or female?
so this one is George. Unfortunately, you won't be able to hear it because I guess I can't connect to the audio here.
Maybe.
Oh. Man.
It's
Good.
short. It's short. It's
But
okay. We can make it work. We have the technology.
Maybe put it together. Really trying. Bailey, give him a raise. Give him a raise. I said no. I said give him a raise.
Oh, a raise from 0 to 0.99. I'll give him some backs for
I
coin.
went to the car to get my jacket. Pull the handle. Didn't get the jacket. No. Is it that high? What the car that my jacket? No.
Actually, that is how I
Yeah. Journey memories.
There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's run that again because it happened so fast. So the PDF I'm using in this case is this stock industry report. The reason I chose this one in particular, to Pablo's point, is it has symbols in it. So it has the copyright symbol next to the word Morningstar. I also wanted to see how it handled images with words in it. It does ignore them, which is great, but it does have that in there, and it's only, it's only a page and a half. So I also wanted to see just how quickly it did it. So I already ran it, so we'll just go with it. So this one is George, just the UK sound.
Ali Mugabe Morningstar copyright.
Goes really fast at first. It's not always that fast. So there's a couple things that are wrong with this PDF, or that it reads wrong with this PDF. I haven't quite figured out why the extract text is doing this, but it reads the name, the author name here first, and then goes into the title. Beyond that, it seems to work really well. So it sounds really confusing at first, because it starts by saying the author's name and then Morningstar.
Oh, because it's going through the actual structure of the PDF. That's what happens. With the specifications, let me not get into it.
Yeah, so that's...
Example Stock Strategist Industry Reports. The 4th of January, 2023, 11:14 a.m. Digital ad spending slows, but at technology first.
So I won't bore you, but I do like that it reads the date and time really well. It also said Morningstar copyright symbol, so it just says the symbol what it is. So it works really well from that point of view. I like George the best. I found that he was the most easy to understand of the ones that I downloaded, but you can do other ones. So then the other one I really wanted to show you, the other reason that I chose that one is that's a pure PDF. So that one was one that was created digitally, was always digital, was not a scanned document. This next one is a scanned document, it's a scanned book of Pride and Prejudice. So Pride and Prejudice is copyright free now, there's no, you can use it, which is why I chose it. And it's really long. So for this one, we'll use Hazel, because Hazel is our British female.
Did you know that the first part of the book is the pride, and the second part is the prejudice? What? I stop at the pride. I'm prejudiced against it.
So I'll pull this up. So while it's running, I'll pull this up so you can see it's 273 pages. There's no pictures in this one. There's no headers or footers. So it's relatively straightforward. A couple of things you'll see is that it does not handle the ends of lines very well. So it will say possess Sion, and there's a weird pause in there. But other than that, it handles it pretty well. It did well with
the hyphen.
Yeah, it doesn't say that, that's all possession. It stops at the hyphen and then continues on with the rest of the word.
Right. Okay.
It handles the dialogue really well though.
But that's a common problem with non-machine learning TDS.
Yeah. So that's the issue here, is that it's not AI.
No, not machine learning.
No, sorry, not machine learning.
It's definitely not a.
So it doesn't handle intonation and stuff that well, right?
Correct. Yes. I from my research, there are other voices that handle that even better, but I couldn't find them. So, but these were the ones. There were ones that were called more natural voices, and I don't know why I couldn't find them. They were loaded on my computer, but I couldn't get them into the registry. So I chose the ones that were British because they sounded better. I'll show you while we're waiting for this. It literally only takes 2 minutes. That's why I wanted to just let it run to show you how quickly it is. But I'll show you the US version because it sounds horrendous.
Ali Mugabe Morningstar copyright stock strategist industry reports. January 4th, 2023.
It's just so bad. So the UK one is way better. So that's taking a little bit longer to load than it did last time. So the nice thing is, you come prepared and you have one already ready to go. So this one, so one of the things you'll see here is kind of like I mentioned, so it's 273 pages, the PDF. This spit out an MP3 that's 11 hours and 27 seconds long. So, and it happens very quickly. You can see down here,
Is it 1x speed?
this one, I have it set to 1x speed, but yeah, you can change the parameters, so you can make it faster or slower.
What about like chapters? Is that a thing?
Not for this, no. I mean, it'll read chapter 2 because it's in,
Right.
it's not gonna be paginated or anything like that for you to go to, where's page,
You
where's
have to
chapter
split
5.
the PDF,
Exactly.
read the audio, and
Oh,
then
there you
read
go.
the
So, yeah,
audio.
it is
add
now
markings
done.
to-
Oh, okay. So it's possible. It's
You
just-
can have like tracks, create a.
Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen.
So,
Chapter 1. It is a truth universally acknowledged, that a single man in posses, shorn of a good fortune, must be in want of a wife.
yeah, so it does
However
that.
little known the
assist-
feelings or views of such a man may be. On his first entering a neighborhood, this truth is so well.
Anyway, if you haven't read it, it's worth reading. It's fantastic.
There's multiple movies.
There is. The Keira Knightley one is my favorite, but my
Yeah.
wife prefers whichever one was done by, I think, BBC maybe or something.
Oh,
So.
yeah, the old.
I have a more important question. Now that it's public domain, can I feed this into just ChatGPT's new image generator and then make it?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I mean, that's why I chose it, because it's public domain now. So, and this was an example of a scanned PDF, and though it had issues with things like the hyphen, otherwise, it doesn't have any issues with extracting the text, pyPDF2, extracting the text, and then the other one turning that into audio. So, that's it. That's the end of my talk. These are the resources, the GitHub link, the documentation, and the GitHub link to the
Any questions?
I just want to say that was more my speed. That's cool. I like
Hey,
I like
here
it.
for you.
This is actually very useful. Like, I have dyslexia, so when I was in college and I was taking computer science classes, I had to run Linux. This is before I was a hardcore Linux user. I wrote a Vim plugin to basically a bash script of Vim plugin to highlight my notes, read it out loud, to help me, because severe dyslexia, so like
Yeah.
English.
I like how you say, before I was a hardcore Linux user, I wrote a Vim plugin.
Well, I was still commuting as a kid, okay?
You know, we can't gherkin that. You know, no, it's compatible. All right, so
This is slightly tangential, but how hard do you think it would be to do some like AI bullshit so I can like speak the Harvard sentences or something and turn that into a model so I can use my voice in text to speech?
Right, yeah, no, that would be very interesting. I have no idea how you would do that.
There's ways.
I can see that there's a way.
There are ways. 11 Labs API for one, you can voice clone yourself. You can use ChatGPT and 11 Labs API together, turn into a. There's ways.
I
So
mean,
the Fireship.io did this, and tried to make a little software, like a little micro SaaS that he tried to use his YouTube channel to shill, and it kind of did this. We would clone voices and take any content, feed it, and then it reads it in your voice.
Yeah.
that's very egotistical to want to listen to yourself speaking.
That-
by the way.
I think that like those growth hackers who always have like
I
fucking
totally
podcasts
agree.
of books or some shit, that's exactly,
They
I would
love
sell
that,
it to
yeah,
them.
Exactly.
Be like, yeah.
Just something?
I mean, I did something similar with a buddy of mine about a year ago using, I think there's some technology called Tortoise. We used something like that. I don't know. I haven't heard of the ones you mentioned. Those might be better now, but it was pretty good for like short clips. Something of full length of PDF might be challenging. But what I was thinking is instead of listening to yourself talk for like, because that would be weird listening to yourself read the whole audiobook. What we were doing is we were using that to make memes of celebrities saying silly things. So it would be really cool if your users could maybe have their book written to them or by, say, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something.
Look, Jaffa!
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like my Robbie.
I would love to hear Arnold Schwarzenegger read Pride and Prejudice.
This
That would
is
be-
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Jane Austen.
Exactly. Users would eat that up.
100%.
It's already hard to
oh,
understand.
that's already here. Like, I have seen multiple videos of, what is it, Obama, Trump, and Biden playing Super Smash Bros.
Oh, I love those videos.
I've seen that, yeah.
They're just like
Yep.
having the most ridiculous arguments. It's like they're fully automated YouTube shorts. He scrapes Twitter and then feeds just generates.